Text me and I'll text you back. Text me and I'll text you back. Text me and I'll text you back. You text me then I'll text you back. Text me then I'll text you back. TikTok, you don't stop. I will help you make your paper stack. Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Where you at now? 205-964-5243. You know. 205-964-5243. You know.
Good afternoon and welcome to September 7th. That was she intended to do.
Gotta walk back in.
Oh, okay. Want to do it again? All right. We're here to talk about real estate investing. It's Kelly Wednesdays. Kelly Wednesday, September 7th. Again, we're here to talk about real estate investing with a strong emphasis on wholesaling real estate where your cash or credit does not matter. Low risk, high reward opportunity. And today's topic is, how do you get motivated sellers to trust you? Okay, so before we get into everything here, if you want to join us live, you can text the word Gator to the number to be added to the live stream. So you can text the word Gator to the number 205-964-5243. Text VIP to the number if you want to get a step-by-step playlist of the videos, plus the recent video that I released on Monday about determining the hot markets in any area. That video should give you some really good insights, how to determine the hot neighborhoods in any market to start generating leads in those areas for obviously motivated sellers, and also to target where cash buyers are buying. What else we got? Let's throw this up. So this is right here. The contract, the one-page contract that I've been giving away since 2003. If you want a copy of that, you can text the word contract to the number. Text the word contract to 205-964-5243. And the reason most people fail in this bit is because they never figure out what a great deal is. Text GD to the number. Text GD to the number. I think I got it. Boom. Text GD to the number to access that particular video, and it'll get you going in the right direction. So before we go any further, do we have any questions yet?
No.
They said what?
I'm just saying the connection to Instagram.
It's going back and forth.
Pausing on
Is it? Okay. You know how to turn the internet off? Oh, okay. All right, cool. All right, one more other card. I'm missing some cards.
I don't have any questions yet, but Dunny Price from Facebook said, I'm new to this and I'm ready to wrap them up. Let's go. I love that talk. Adrian Middleton from YouTube said, like and share, everyone. She was on here before we even got started. So hey girl, hey. That's all we got right now. How about you tell us what the topic is, Todd?
I did.
Oh, you did?
Yes, I did.
Oh, crap.
How to get motivated sellers to trust you?
Trust in me. Everybody's shy today? Yeah. Amber Giles from YouTube said, hey everybody. Hey girl, hey. Yeah. Oh. No questions. Okay.
Well, that must be an Instagram thing then, maybe. So are we still waiting? So okay, well, why are we doing? Y'all know how I do. All right, so you're trying to do some cold calling and you need a dialer to get you going on that. Text the word dialer to the number and put it on steroids. Be more efficient, generate more leads, more checks, more smiles. ARV. You need to know this if you don't know anything else about whether you have a great deal or not. Text ARV to the number. That video will explain. Want to do some text messaging? That's another way to generate leads. Text messaging. Text the word text. Now, this is going to change because batch leads is going to 3.0 to update everything. I've seen, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I've seen a preliminary view of it or whatever that should be releasing in the next couple of weeks. So text the word text to the number. You want to partner with us? Text 5050 to the number. You want to partner with us on residential properties. Need a VA to make cold calls for you. You can use we use text scale. Keep the appointments. Set up a consultation. They'll walk you through what's available. Tool. Probably use this tool during during the live today. Text the word tool, and you can access the same tool, one of the same tools we use. And also, if you want to get trained on it after you watch that, text the word time to set up actual training with us. Want to partner on self-storage or multifamily? Text the word units to this video. To this number, 205-964-5243. We should have some questions about that.
All right.
Where's my gator?
Say hello. Hi there, Ty and ladies. Hello, all. Hi, guys. This one came from Rick Hernandez. He said, how do you answer that one question the seller asks if you're a wholesaler? So what do you say if they ask you if you're a wholesaler?
And that kind of goes into the question for today, but or the topic for today. But you tell them the truth. You tell them the truth. You tell them, yeah, I am. I also looking to invest in properties. My business is in real estate, and however I can help you sell this property in real estate, I'm here to help. But tell them the truth, because the next steps will require you to let them know what you're going to do with it. If you're going to, unless you have like a really, really strong buyers list, you're going to have to, even if it's off market, you're going to have to market that property. And so you never want to run the risk of losing that trust in the sellers if you don't disclose to them what you're going to do with the property. If they ask that question, and all your contracts will say it. It will say that that this contract is assignable. So I just say tell them the truth. What do you tell them?
Yeah, you could tell them the truth.
You can.
But guess what? That's not going to be a deal anyway if they're asking you a question.
That's true. They're not
guarantee you that it's not. If you're being asked that question, it's not going to be a deal. You can walk into Walmart, Target, name the store right now, ask 10 people, have they ever heard of wholesaling? And 10 of them will tell you no. If they're asking that question, it's not going to be a deal. So it's really irrelevant. So yeah, tell them the truth. Then that conversation's going to be over anyway, because trust me, it's not going to be a deal.
I like that analogy though, the Walmart, because because Walmart essentially is a wholesaler. It sells other people's products for discounted prices. Or they buy it from the original people at discounted price and sell it at a retail price, and then sometimes they make their own stuff. So that's actually a metaphor.
Yeah. You have to take on the expense of sending your goods to them, and they pay you 90 days or 30 days later. Yeah. So basically, they're the biggest consignment outfit in the world.
All right.
Wholesalers.
We have two questions on Instagram. What's the process of doing a subject to purchase? This is for my personal
home. Hold on. Can you repeat the last part?
What's the process for doing a subject to purchase?
Well, it's their personal home. So they're trying to subject to. I guess they're going to. From that question, they're going to liquidate their personal property to someone through a subject to, which wouldn't really make that much sense to do it that way. But maybe I'm missing something. But go ahead, Kelly.
Well, if I'm understanding it correctly, they still have a mortgage and they are going to sell their property. So they basically is owner financing. So what you would do is you would find someone that doesn't have good credit and is looking to have cash and a down payment, and you would basically determine what the market value of your property is right now and what it would be in a future state. Let's just say, I'm not sure how much what your agreement is going to be, but sometimes subject to agreements can be for the life of the loan. It can be for 3 years, 5 years, however you want to do it. But whatever that term is that you're going to do it, determine what the appreciation rate is in your area and then times it by that over the term of which the loan will be. So if the appreciation rate was 2%, your home value was $200,000, you would take that and or the market value was $200,000, you'll take the appreciation rate and then you'll times that by the term of the loan of how long you're going to carry the note. And once you get that, that's going to be your buy value. Another way of doing it is looking at what the current rent value is of your in your area, and then working backwards to say that if rent is $1,900 and the value of $1,900 a month rentals are like $200,000 houses, then you would just make the price $200,000 and you'll charge them the rent rate, and don't put any of it towards the purchase of the home because that can get into some legalities that you don't want to deal with in the event they default. But what you want to do is basically create a lease where they pay you a deposit, and then they pay you a certain amount, the lease rent over time, and then you have the ownership piece where you can come in where they can pay you a deposit like a 5-10K deposit. They could be used toward the purchase of the home, and 0% or maybe 10% of that can go towards the rent rate can go towards the purchase of the home. But at the end of that term, they can apply for financing to buy the home, or however, it's such a big question, but or if the subject to, if they have paid if it's only going to be subject to the existing mortgage is what the price would be, then whatever that is, whenever that note is paid off. So there's a lot of different ways you can structure creative financing deals, and I just kind of rattled off 3 or 4 in that one sentence. But I would say do a lease to own, and then you just take that and money and pay your mortgage. Honestly, if you were the person that was structuring that deal, but if you wanted to just walk away from it and not deal with any of that, I mean, the subject to would be a good option, but you won't get any cash flow. So I would really consider just doing a lease to own purchase with your end buyer. Did I confuse people? Did I confuse you, Ty? I feel like it's a long answer to it could be a short question, but creative finance can get really in depth because there's so many ways you can structure a deal.
All right, thank you. This is also on Instagram. Any changes we should adjust with the market shifting?
Dang it, I wish I would have saved that quote, but when you're in a specific industry, it really doesn't matter what the industry is doing around you, because when you are really in it and you're a steward of it, and you have a formula that you buy off of, that formula and that data would tell you exactly how to strategize. So if you see the interest rates are going up in an area and it's costing more, cash is more expensive, you adjust your wholesale price. So the 0.7% of a discount is not much of a discount in today's market, just in general speaking. So sometimes, honestly, a discount in today's market is more of 50% or 60%. Is just not much of a discount because of the interest rate and the cost of cash. Because when I look at where you can put your cash in other investments, you want to look at how hard can my cash work for me? And that's how your cash investors are looking at it now. So to answer that question of what adjustments is, you want to make sure that you're a steward of the market and you have a formula that you go by, and that you use the formula without adjustments, because the market is going to tell you how to buy, and it's going to tell you through the data, right? Which is interest rates, home values, rental rates, things of that nature. So if you use all of that to determine ARVs, repair costs, and wholesale price, then you shouldn't get it wrong.
All right. Let's go to YouTube. All right, this one came from Jeffrey Daniel. He said, "Oh, Footman answered my question prior to the live stream. Thanks again for the information." This one came from Heave Made It. Heave Made It. HEV Made It. Okay.
Have made it.
Have made it. They said, "Do you recommend when you're cold calling to pick one specific type of lead or contact multiple lead types?"
This game, especially in cold calling, is all about quantity, in my opinion. If you're doing cold calling, because of the cost that it takes, it doesn't cost much to cold call. So I would get, I mean, honestly, you should get to the point, if you don't have like a call center or someone helping you call, and you should be getting to the point where you're doing at least 2,000, 4,000 dials, and that's where the big guys are starting to head to. But it's all about quantity. So I would say definitely get as many leads as possible, because it's all about numbers. If you have only a list of 100 leads, then you know that you'll probably get one deal out of that.
All right.
Dollar.
Okay. This one came from ASMR Junkie. They said, "I'm having trouble understanding all the information. I just got the course. Everything seems overwhelming. Is this normal? Please help."
Well, everybody learns differently. Some people are better readers and they learn that way. You have individuals like myself. You can just simply tell it to me, and I'm going to get it. I definitely, if I'm interested or whatever, unless it's just too complicated, which can be possible also. But so it depends on your learning style. So the great thing about it that you're here, and so as you're listening to the information, just make notes on things you're not sure about. I tried to uh, make myself available in a couple of ways. This is one of them, to be able to answer questions that you have. If you ask a question here that you're doing right now, not only will I answer the question for you, but in a lot of cases, people have similar questions. So and then the next layer of that, if you post any of your questions in the comments section of any of my YouTube videos, I normally answer those, every day or so. So, everything is here to give you support. Just have the patience to learn it. People spend 4 years, 5 years going to college, trying to pursue a degree that probably never will make them any money. And you could do something within the next couple of months by studying this information that could be life changing. You still got to get out there and do it, but it starts with building that foundation of just simply knowing what to do. That's what education starts. So being overwhelmed, especially on something you've never done before, yes, that is very common. It was for me. Now, when I started, I was taking on multiple methods of real estate investing and creative ways of real estate investing. So I went from zero to trying to learn about wholesaling, lease options, subject to uh, other forms of owner financing, fix and flip. So so yeah, I can totally feel where your pain. But what I just to end this, I grabbed onto a couple of things, that really just simplified it for me. about the process. I understood that for me as a person, cold calling probably wasn't going to work for me at that time or whatever. So bandit signs really stood out to me because I just put the message out there. People call me, we're halfway there. They want to sell, I want to buy. Now, still got the numbers got to work, but we're halfway there. I'm not calling them out of the blue. They may have just gotten in an argument with their girlfriend or boyfriend, husband or wife or whatever, and I'm intervening that call. That may not be a good conversation. So they reached out to me through a bandit sign. Hey, I know what they want, right? In most cases. The other thing stuck out to me was wholesaling. Oh, wow, you can do this, and this happens, even if I don't have any money. And pretty much the same thing with lease options. They're different, but they're similar in how fast you can get into something with no money to make some money. But they're different. So I don't know if I answered the question, but yeah, feeling overwhelmed is normal.
All right, we got a couple questions asking where are you guys from?
I'm from Alabama. I was gonna say the field. Nobody would know what that is, though.
I would.
I'm from the field. The people from the field know who I'm talking about. Where I'm talking about.
Well, I am from. I am from the MIL. Hey, people from the MIL know what I'm talking about. There's not one person. Oh yeah, it is at least one person watching. But no, we're Kelly's in the Huntsville, Alabama area, and I'm in Birmingham. So there you go.
All right, I knew what was gonna be this question. They asked on Instagram. No, this is TikTok. Is the Bank of America program for Blacks a good program?
I have no idea what you're talking about. Kelly probably knows.
Yeah, it's so they're giving basically assistance, down payment assistance. I haven't done enough research and study to know if it's a good program or not. I will always say that I don't even want to comment because I haven't done any study. I haven't researched on it enough. It came out this week, I believe. Or late last week. I don't want to make my comments on it until I do my full research because I've learned over time that speaking too quick on things can affect your decision. But from the marketing, it sounds like it could be a good program. But again, I would like to do my own research before I comment. Ask me again next week.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it.
All right. We have someone in the gator room, so let's go ahead and ask.
We missing the gator card though.
I'm about to send it to you.
Hello.
Oh, I love it. He got his signs up too.
What happened? Oh, okay, that's what's happening.
Make sure your mic is unmuted.
Can you hear us?
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's serious about it. Might have done plug that elaborate. What's it called? This
lapel.
How about now?
There you go. We in business. What's happening?
I have a question. I have a property that was in a. Hold on for a minute.
Yes, sir.
I feel like he's gonna bring a card up too. He was like,
no, I had my laptop playing as well, so I was getting feedback. But I have a property that's in a limited partnership that's been dissolved, and the general partner is deceased. So would that make that a probate situation?
I don't feel like I'm educated enough to speak on that part. Dang, I wish you could have bought the LLC before they dissolved it. Then you could have brought all the assets, but then also the liabilities included with it. But
well, I got one even better. the daughter was one of the partners in the limited partnership. She's surviving. Well, she's still alive. And I went door knocking on her door because it's free and clear. But there's 10 years of back taxes, which I'm willing to pay that because I'm in Northern Virginia. And I want to say the ARV is like $425. So even if I had to pay $100 grand, I'm $325 to the good.
Do you know? Did they have an operating agreement? I mean, they had to. Do you know if that was stated? Have you been able to read through the operating agreement?
Well, let me tell you this: the attorney who was the RA attorney, he literally told me to pay the taxes and move into the house.
I mean, if an attorney told you that.
Let's back up though. Now, the first thing I would do is, and you may already know this, but you need to understand, I would want to understand the process of property tax stages in the state of Virginia, right? So you can know where your opportunity is, if there is one. You know, that's the first thing I would want to try to do. Now, as far as the you say someone died and the LLC dissolved, or they dissolved the LLC, but what happened?
Okay, well, initially I called a registered agent, and he told me he dissolved the limited partnership because the daughter, who was a partner in that limited partnership, didn't want to pay him $100 a year.
Okay.
And the father, who also is a part of the limited partnership, is deceased.
Okay. All right. So now that's where well technically that's where either actual real estate attorney, not, you know, that's all they do is real estate, and or a title company is going to give you your answer, because I ain't got it. I've never
Yeah.
you know, yeah, and you could probably have, well, yeah, that's where you're going to start, you know, because I have no idea. I've never run into that. You never think about it, but I guess that could be, definitely it's a problem. And normally if you got a solution for a problem, it can be a significant payday, as it sounds like it is, or possibly could be. So yeah, that's where our start is, just on a title level with a title company and or closing attorney. So
I'll tell you where I was just thinking how it would go, just based on just how normal companies are dissolved. That's what I was asking about the operating agreement. Even though one is deceased, whoever was over his estate, if during the dissolving of the LLC, depending on like if there were 50-50 partners, they would have taken on 50% of the assets and 50% of the liabilities. And so that's what I'm assuming that what basically is the case here is 50% of that property, if they are 50-50, belongs to the other partners that's deceased, his estate, if he has one. So yeah, it would, 50% of that would go into a probate, but it still goes off of operating agreement, because if the living one had majority ownership or had signing rights or things of that nature, so you definitely want to get with like what Ty said, a real estate attorney, and probably go ahead and ask the living partner of the LLC for all their bylaws and operating agreements, so that you can bring that to the attorney so that he can review that to say exactly who is, if you will have to go through the probate process with the other partner, or if the living partner has signing rights and can do whatever with that property. That's just my thinking. I've never done with that before, but that's just how normal companies are dissolved, unless they had a true buy-sell agreement. And then if they did have a buy-sell agreement and he sold some of it before he died, then that will actually help you.
Well, what the attorney actually told me, the only reason why I was dissolved was due to payment. The daughter didn't want to continue paying the $100 annually for just like having it in Northern Virginia or Virginia period. To have an LLC, you pay $50 to $100 annually.
Mhm.
Well, she was so cheap, she didn't want to continue paying it, but she didn't understand that there was a home attached to the LLC or the limited partnership or the entity. And so I went to both, excuse me, I went to the county where the home is located, and a couple of months back, the county said that they owed $3,900, but here in Northern Virginia, we pay county and state taxes. And so when I went to the big courthouse, the young lady that was behind the desk, she was acting real funny. She didn't want to give me the actual tax amount, because once I would have gathered all the information, I was going to present that to the young lady that's in the limited partnership and say, well, look, if you we could do a quick claim deed or something, I'll pay all the taxes, I'll pay all the closing costs, because like I say, this home is worth like $425,000, a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage sitting.
I would go with what Ty said. I would actually just go to a really good title agent and have them run the title and see who's actually what they would need in order to get you a clear title. And then I would go to the owner and just pay them $1,000 to quick deed it over to you and tell them that you'll pay, or $500. It doesn't matter. To pay.
I was offering 10 grand.
I wouldn't offer them 10 grand.
Okay.
Because if she's cheap to pay $100, she's gonna think 500 is a lot of money. Not to be like, it's not like dishonoring people, but I mean, she's not gonna value that $10,000. You're solving a problem. I shouldn't say she's not gonna value it. I don't know what she was gonna do, but but I would go into a good title agent, have them run the title, see who actually, if the person you're talking to is the actual person that can sign off on all the documents, offer her something in exchange for a quick deed and get it deeded over to you, and do what you do, wholesale it, live in it.
And then the other thing I noticed about her home, because like I said, I went knocking on her door. I noticed she had a unit in the window, and she lives closer to DC, and those properties are $900,000 value. And so I thought, I was like, well, maybe if I offer to put central heating in her house, if she signed the deed over to the house down here that she didn't abandon, don't care nothing about it.
I would say first, see how motivated she is before you start pouring more money into her. I would assume that she would sign it over to you, just sign the company over. I wasn't dissolved, but sign the property over to you. But I would do a little bit more research before you, and then you can come up with what the best solution is for you. But I would do a little bit more research of how motivated she is just to get away from all the taxes and the burdens that come with it.
I'm trying to catch it before the county sells it.
Yes. Because they're not going to be that generous to her. They're just going to take the property.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure it's going to sell for about $200, $250 as is. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. But I thank you all for your time.
Absolutely. Good
and
luck.
Also, Kelly, you have a twin that lives in Georgia.
I think I just have one of those faces, apparently, because everybody tells me I look like somebody.
Literally, you have a twin. My cousin in Georgia looks exactly like you. I thought you was her, and I was like, okay, when did you get into real estate? But yes.
My daddy did spend some time in Georgia for work.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.
Kelly, we got one on TikTok. This person asked, how long should a land deal take?
Depends on the land deal, honestly. You talking about a lot that has streets, utilities. Like it's basically it's top ready, meaning like it can start to be built on immediately. Anywhere between maybe 45, 60 days, maybe less. Um, but it depends on how well it's priced. So is it priced to sell? Is it wholesale? Is it the right price? Because price always determines how quick somebody will move on it. Now, larger parcels of land, raw land, it could take a little longer. But again, pricing matters. If it's priced to sell, then it should move fairly quickly. Um, um, that's really what it is. I mean, if it could take a day if it's priced right. If you find the right buyer in the market that's looking to close and they've been looking for that type of land. But just in general, expect 60 days. That's just a general statement. Anything, it could be larger, longer. It can get extended out to 90 days, but at least a minimum for land, 60 days. Just because the buyer pool is more niche than the housing market is. So I would say at least 60 days.
Right. This person on TikTok asks, where do I need to get started? And how do I get started?
Start. You're here. We answered that question. That's like the top question. I love that question. Is you're here. You're doing it. You're doing it. Getting the information, getting knowledge. Oh, I had a good quote that I heard from one of my friends in a mastermind I'm in. It's Carter Cofield. You try to go check out. But I think Kimoy, our other friend, is the one that said it. But anyway, they said that I put my money, my knowledge, my mind. I spend more time on my mind. Dang it, I'm messing up the quote. I'm spending more. I'm investing in more in my mind than my wallet. I believe. I messed up the quote, but anyway, it was just saying investing in the knowledge is what the quote was supposed to be. I gotta go look it up because I messed it out.
Yeah, text VIP to the number 205-964-5243. I'm missing two important cards. They're about to drive me crazy.
Moving them around.
Yeah, I guess so.
All right, let's knock out some of these on YouTube real quick. Gary Ross said, I would come on live, but I'm in the office. I need help coming in a property, and he gave me the address.
Oh, okay. All right. Let's see here. Give me just a second. Let's go ahead and add Mama. What's her name? Then I'll come back to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's in the New York?
All right.
I love all these guys.
Move back, Lily. Go upstairs, girl. She trying to get in the camera. Can y'all hear me?
Camera, we want to see.
I'm sorry.
She's trying to get her camera down.
I wasn't sure. Okay, I have a property under contract. This is like the fourth one, but none of them are going through. I'm finding a lot of hood properties, I guess. I don't know. But this one seems promising until I contacted some local buyers that bought for cash. They had like a lot of properties, at least 17. The other one was like 162 properties he had. This guy told me the one that had 17 properties in the same area, I mean, all around this house. He said he's selling his whole portfolio for $2.2 million, trying to get rid of everything. I called another buyer for cash. He said that he's selling his properties. I don't know. I think I got a house that's like in an area where everybody's moving out of that area. They wouldn't give me an answer as to why. So now I'm having a problem with the buyer. I just put it on Facebook, but
Okay.
I wanted for you guys to check it out if you had time. I don't know if we're on that subject today.
Yeah. I was trying to pull up the pull up the tool, and we just went to you. Somebody else wanted to do the same thing, so we'll knock out yours first, and then we'll do his. What's the address?
This is 225 East 14th Avenue. And it says 15112.
What city?
That's Pittsburgh or Homestead, PA. That first one.
Messed up. You said, give me that again. I'm sorry.
That's 225 East 14th Avenue, Homestead, PA.
All right. Okay, so just to look at it, shows it recently sold for 45 or so back in April. Okay, and okay, all right. So got some comps in here. For those just watching, if you're on TikTok and Instagram, you can. Oh, we had Jeff. What my minute mark?
40 minutes and 59 seconds.
So at the 40-minute mark, if you want to go back and watch the replay on YouTube, you can go back and see what I'm about to explain. All right, so I blew up the map here because ideally this appears to be a main street right here. This one does also. Really no activity right in here, just to be frank. But so if we got to roll with it, we got to go with what the nearest and best is. So this particular property, so I'm just going to take them all into account. But again, keep in mind, there's no activity in this little range right here. And it's like surrounded by two major streets. Well, three major streets. Well, four, I'm sorry. Okay, so, all right. So one of the first things we like to look at is the year built. This is an 1886 property. Ideally, you like to stay within a 10-year range, 5 years plus or minus. So from 1891 to 1881 would be ideal. The lot square footage, try to stay in a range of 2,500 square feet and square footage of the house. Within 200 square feet, even though, normally an appraisal try to stay within 15 to 20%, but 200 square feet would work for this small of a house. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to look at is we're going to look at the most recent transaction, which was in July. We got one here in August. The one in July sold for $122,000. The one in August sold for $32,000. Okay, so we have numbers just all over the place here. We got 64, 32, 20, 88, 122, which looks to be an outlier, 35 and 67. So what did you get it on the contract for, by the way?
30,000.
Okay. So we 60, 67, and we had one more. We had that 80. So even if I just did this, just took those highest three right there and just unchecked everything, did the 88. I'm not gonna do the 122. I think that's an outlier. That average is 73,000, right? Now the square footage is a little different on these. Yours is a little smaller than most of these. So even if we said 70,000, I just know what's the condition of the property. Been it's over 100 years old.
Right, but the floors are uneven, so there's a little bit of foundation issues. But overall, I mean, they just bought it in April. The only reason they're leaving, I mean, it was a few. They had some really ridiculous issues with the neighbor, so they're just leaving their house. There's really not anything too far from what Zillow is showing of what the property looks like. It doesn't look so bad.
Oh yeah, let me do that. I should have did that from the jump. Okay.
I have a virtual tour. I don't know how we get the link to you though.
No, that's cool. This
Okay.
is more than enough right here. Okay. Yeah, that's not bad.
It's not bad.
Yeah. And so
They
you
just
got
took
it
the
on the
covers
contract
off
for
of
30?
the floor vents. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you got it on the contract for 30?
Yes, the adjacent house, the attached house next to there, yes. The blue one, that one is vacant. That one, the man dad, the daughter lives across the street. She's not trying to sell the house. I'm trying to get them both. I was, but the yard is overgrown, and the backyard is what is bringing rodents.
Hmm.
So there's that issue, and then there's the issue with the ratchet neighbors, two doors down.
Okay. Yeah. Of course, an investor wouldn't know all of that, but that part of it, I guess, in most cases. I'm assuming, just knowing you've been on with us a few times. I'm sure you're marketing the property heavy. Um,
Yeah.
so, and Kelly can join in. Normally, what that means is what are you marketing at? What price?
37.5.
Okay, the market is telling you, you know, that's not cheap enough.
Yeah.
So they still live in it, or they've already moved.
Nope. They moved out 2 days ago.
So your next option may be, I don't know if they really just need the money or just need to just have something coming in. You may go back to them and offer to own or finance the property. Tell them you'll do 100 payments at $300 a month. That's 30,000 for those who didn't know.
Okay.
And so that's a little over, I think, 8 years or whatever.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
now, if they would agree to that, then now you have something that could be really attractive, especially under those terms. That either you want to keep the property yourself, and or you just wholesale out the terms and just pick up a nice assignment fee for setting up the deal. Um, your
Yeah.
thought, Miss Mead?
And when
Yeah.
I do this, I'm sorry. Go ahead, there.
Oh, I was just gonna ask. So how are you marketing it right now?
So I called up the buyers that I've been dealing with. I called them up directly, and then I'm on Facebook, and I have the virtual tour that I'm posting, and then there's the YouTube channel. I'm putting it on there. Um, but yeah, virtually, that's all I'm doing. I'm just making calls. I'm reaching out directly.
I would suggest that you link up with a an agent that can do an equitable interest listing for you, because you
Okay.
may get this on the MLS and the Zillow. And do you have I know you say it has some ratchet neighbors in the yard, but if you think it would be make sense, you should probably put some bandit signs out. So put a sign in the front yard and then some directionals and some high
Okay.
traffic areas directing them to the actual location, so that the people that are actually living in that area knows that it's for sale, because it looks like it's moving ready. You could just sell it to
Hmm.
a retail buyer. And so I would start looking at that. But I think otherwise the creative finance would go well, if they can agree to that. Do they have a mortgage on this, or did they buy it cash?
They bought it cash.
Do they need the cash? Because I mean, I get kind of their
Hmm.
thinking. They're probably thinking, well, we would have spent that much on rent, right? Is what I'm thinking. The reason why they're taking a discount is they would have spent that much on rent anyway to live. So they're just chopping it up to just the cost of living. Um,
Hmm.
they need cash right now. They need the rest of the cash.
Yeah, they have a 10-month-old son.
Okay. So if the creative finance portion wouldn't work, I would definitely link up with a realtor in that area that works with a lot of investors and that can list the property for you and work through a equitable interest listing and get that on
Mhm.
to the MLS.
Okay, I can okay, that'll do. But before I try to lower the amount, the 30,000, I'll see if they're open to that creative finance option. And then yeah, I'll put those signs out and put the directionals on as well. Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right.
No problem. Please join us again. All right, we wanted to comp the property for somebody else, right?
Mhm. So that one, he's actually on the left. Hold on, I can add him to the screen.
Okay.
Hello. Terry?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Do you guys see my beautiful? There we go. Okay, because I'm like on 40 different apparatuses right now. How you guys doing this afternoon, Flip? So yeah, that was my property. I'm actually working with the owner right now. We haven't scheduled a date for me to go and meet up with her, but I want to make sure that when I meet up with her, I want to have a number for her. She did say she wants to sell the property. She wants to see how much the property will be as is, but she also wants to know how much the property is going to be after it's renovated. So that was the property was 12. I think I sent you the address 1268 Teller Avenue in the Bronx.
Okay. All right. So a question for you. I'm going to pull
Talk
it
to
up
me.
here. Why would she want to know how much it's going to be worth after it's
I,
renovated?
to be very honest with you, I didn't get to that. I didn't really ask her that question last night when I spoke with her.
Okay.
Um, she seemed like she was in a little bit of a hurry as well, but she was interested in talking, so I tried to get as much information out of her as I could.
Okay. What's the address again?
I'm sending you a closer by address, so it's 1268 Teller Avenue, Teller Avenue. I gotta remember, I'm looking at my phone, not my tablet.
All right.
Yeah.
Just to look at the little past here. That's interesting. $10,000. New York Asset Recovery Group. Interesting. They own a lot of properties. Another 76 properties, including this one. Um, hmm.
Now, again, this is not the actual house that we're looking at. I didn't want to give that actual house's address because I don't want to lose the deal if it is a deal.
So this is a
Yeah,
close
this is
comparison.
a close by. Yeah, this is a very, very close by property.
Yeah, all right, that's what's up. All right, so okay, so we'll use this one then. I was getting a little confused there. Okay. All right, cool. All right, so okay, so just to blow this up, so yeah, this is our deal right here. Most of the comps are right here in this block, or a couple of blocks radius.
Hmm.
Um, so this is a 1930 build. Um, Square footage of the lot is 2,500 square feet, which is a little bit bigger than most of this. And the square footage of
Yes.
the house, is in line with the rest of this. Some of them are smaller, some of them are larger. All right,
Okay.
so let's see what did we see most recently sold was in August for 698. A little smaller property. The lot is a little smaller. So it sold at 279 a square foot, price per square foot. So what that means, guys, just to explain it to you. Okay, so the property that we're looking at is 2,500. I mean, it's 2,730 square feet, and the property that we're using as a possible comp is 2,500 square feet. So there's a 230 square feet difference. So to make up for that, what you can do is that which is already automatically calculated here, is that to come up with this $279.51 price per square foot, you divide the $2,500 square feet into the 698,770, and that gives you the 279. So when you have that, now you take that number and multiply it times our 2,730 square feet. Okay, so I have the little calculator here. So multiply 2,730 times what did I say, 279, and that
Yes.
gives you 761 as the ARV potentially. So now we have that particular number. You're in New York City. Do you know the condition of the property?
No, but I'm actually because I made this call late last night, and
So
she actually the house is like 3 minute walk from my apartment, which I didn't know. I found this house on Prop Stream, shocked surprisingly. So what I will do is tonight I'm going to try to see if I can make a walk by the house first before me and her schedule a meeting as well.
okay,
But we are
so
definitely scheduling a meeting.
all right, so what do we say? 760. So we're gonna say 760 is the number. All right. And
Hmm.
it's just a generalization here now. Now, of course, in New York, I'm going to use 80% there versus other
To
parts.
70%.
Yeah. Which I probably could have left at the 70, but just for the sake of this, I'm gonna leave it at that. So, what I put in 80,000? Okay. All right. So, now again, this is generalization on the repair. So it's 2,700 something. What was it?
It was I have the repair totals. For a livable apartment, it would be 75. For a livable house, it would be $75,000 of
Okay.
repairs.
We'll go with your numbers. Okay.
I literally just was doing the mathematics this morning.
Right. Now, something like this, I'm trying to make a minimum of 50 grand. Minimum. Right. And so ideally around this 400, just on the $500,000 range, you put it back out there around this amount. So not livable, but we're gonna double that, or what did you come up with?
But the not livable was 120.
Okay. All right. So you're gonna be closer to 400,000, not livable 430 or so. Not livable. Put it back out there around that amount. So but there you go. But of course, again, you're going to have to see. Did she even give you a price?
She did not give me a price. She doesn't even know how much she wants to sell the house for.
Okay.
She just
cool.
wants to see how much it's going to be worth, as is. And when she said that, I was like, let me get to work. She said she said my favorite words, as is.
Yeah, yeah. Cool. All right. So yeah, let us know how that turns out, my man.
All right, phenomenal. Thank you so much, Flip.
All right, no problem.
And you have a buyer already.
Several actually.
The one that he's just that you gave, that looks like that might be a buyer. They bought several.
Yeah, I see that actually. That's actually a good look. Thank you for that, because I gave him the address accidentally. Thank you so much, Flip. Appreciate that. I really do.
All right, no problem, my man.
All right. You want to go ahead and do the topic?
Yeah. We'll go ahead and do the TOP. I see. All right. Topic for today is how to get motivated sellers to trust you, which is a piggyback off a question that was asked, which was a great one. I didn't jot any down today, slipping. But okay, so we were talking earlier about someone asking, "Are you a wholesaler?" If a seller asks you, "Are you a wholesaler?" And that would be such an uncommon question from just an average, everyday person to ask that question or whatever. And from my experience, I personally have never done a deal where that question has been posed to me or whatever. So, because most people don't know what wholesaling is. You have real estate agents that have been in the business 15, 20 years or longer and have never even heard the term before. So just the average person walking around definitely doesn't. So how do you get someone's trust? Okay, now it's at first with anything that you're trying to do, when you're trying to do business or just anything, it goes a long way if you at least sound like you know what you're talking about or very confident in what you said. No BSing now. You need to actually know what you're talking about. It comes over like that. Now, if you're talking to someone that don't know anything about it, then even if you're BSing, it probably makes sense. But the point is that it go a long way if you know what you're talking about. And that starts with educating yourself. So that a level of confidence can possibly, not always, build trust. Some people are just going to be skeptical when you're doing business, just period. But normally when you're dealing with an actual motivated seller, they're just normally just going to be a little bit faster to trust a lot of people versus someone that has the price that they're giving you, which shows lack of motivation. Is they're going to be the ones that are going to be the smart, or whatever in the way they talk to you. And I want $1 million from my property, and it's in a $200,000 neighborhood. Those are the type of people there. But those are easy just to move on from. But when you're dealing with someone, my definition of a motivated seller, which is price based, now what their reason for being made motivation is a different conversation. They generally are going to be a little bit more easier to deal with and to trust. Not saying always, because sometimes you can find some very difficult situations dealing with people. But the easy answer is number one, do what you say you're going to do. Number one, know what you're talking about. That goes a long way. right? Understanding the contract, why the contract is needed, the entire process from A to Z on what's going to happen. We're going to, someone asks, well, how does this process work? Well, you just go through it with them. You say, hey, well, it starts with what we're doing right now. We need information about the property so we can evaluate to see if it's an opportunity that we want, a property or an opportunity that we want to pursue. Assuming that you and I can agree on a price, we would love to come out and inspect the property to actually view it, whether it's me or one of my team members come out to view the property. If we like what we see, we'll go to the paperwork. And the paperwork is the actual purchase and sales agreement. The purpose of that document is to start the buying process. It doesn't give me any type of ownership of your property. It starts the buying process. Once we get that in play, the next thing we'll do is we're going to set up a closing with a title company or closing attorney, and we'll keep you informed on every step of the process. And if any additional information is needed, we'll reach out to you, and or the title company or closing attorney may reach out to you. Now, in between the time that we close on the property, I may need to get bids from contractors and or may need to bring some of my capital partners to view the property also. All right. Now, so it'll make it easy if the property was vacant, that we can place a lockbox there so they could go at their convenience and wouldn't inconvenience you. Sometimes they'll do that, sometimes they won't, or whatever. But so assuming that they do, then boom. Obviously, if you get a buyer on the contract, the next step is the title company may reach out to them to gather some information like their social security number, that information, so they can run title and all that stuff, or to verify any liens that may show up on the property. And you schedule the closing around all parties involved around their time, whether they're going to all show up at the closing at once, or it's going to be staggered, or it may be a long distance situation where the seller doesn't live in the market. But just understanding how to explain the process to them can build an immense amount of trust. And that starts with by simply knowing what to do. Your thoughts, Ms. Mead?
Yeah. I know I kind of alluded to or answered that. I agree with that as knowing the process. And just knowing why they're asking that is also helpful. Like I got asked that this week, and I was like, absolutely, I'm an agent, I'm a broker, like I'm all of the above. I'm in real estate, and it's really, and so when I said it, he wanted to sell his land. He wanted to sell his land, but he's dealt with wholesalers before that he didn't have a good experience with it, and that's understandable. And so listening to that and then just giving yourself credibility and letting them know what happens if for some reason one of the plan B has to be enacted. What does that look like and what they can expect? As long as they understand, what the process and what they can expect from you, and you've done your due diligence and you created a rapport that they can, that they like and trust you, I guarantee you they do not care what you do, but be grateful if you can get their deal sold. So I would say definitely make sure that you don't get emotional about the pricing of the property and your offer. And but also just explaining to them what they can expect out of you. It'll go a long way.
Okay, boom. All right. Mr. Omar OC is in the Gator room, so we're going to go ahead and add him on and see what he has going on today. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. What's going on? Hey, Kelly.
Hello.
Good.
All right. So, question, I'm at the 70-yard line now. Halftime is over. And heading towards this end zone here. At the closing. So all I bring is my body and my expectancy to see this check. When I get there, all parties will have all their documents, and the closing company, title company, and such?
Well, yeah, normally they do some preliminary stuff to make sure everyone knows what's needed to close a transaction. They try to take care of that, the days before leading up to it, assuming everything checks out with the title or whatever. So most people know most people carry their ID with them. So normally that's the only thing that they need if assuming everybody's going to have to actually show up at the closing. So yeah, the only thing you got to do is just show up. And just make sure if the seller and the buyer have never met each other, you smooth that over and introduce them, and boom, they're going to sit down and sign everything, and it's time to get paid after that's completed. So yeah, but again, the title company or closing attorney is going to be proactive in most cases to make sure all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed before closing day, right? The worst thing that happened and they start trying to get stuff together the day of or whatever. Normally they make sure everything is ready to go before.
Okay, so the seller has to send their title to the closing company?
No, each time a piece of real estate, it's not like a car. Each time a piece of real estate is sold, a new title is created, or deed, or whatever you want to call it. It's not like selling an automobile.
All right. And would it be a good idea that the buyer, the closing company, the closing company, when they're issuing the checks, actually it'll be coming from them. My name won't be on it because and also them receiving, I'm just asking because of taxes. I don't want to receive.
Well, that's up to you. You're in business for it, so they're just gonna give you the money. When and how you pay your taxes is gonna be up to you. They don't get into that part of it at all.
Okay. So all right. So I guess I'll be cutting the seller the check, or they're just gonna get that directly from the closing company.
Yeah, that's what the buyer funds the deal, and the checks are cut off the title company or closing attorney's account. Well, you won't have anything to do with that. You won't have anything to do. Just showing up to pick up a check, basically.
Okay. And Kelly, thanks for that connect. Over on Instagram there.
That was you. Yeah. Welcome.
Yeah, good looking. I gotta get in touch with him, but thanks for that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Moving forward.
All right, my man.
Get to this end zone. All right. Thanks.
Yes, sir. All right.
Talk to you in a bit.
Boom. All righty, guys. We've been rolling pretty hard here. We really appreciate. Oh, let put Kelly's thing up. On you.
Did you talk about? Did you tell them our secret about agents?
Oh yeah. We're I ain't good.
Respect. We gonna get our respect around here.
I just forgot. We actually did a post earlier, a TikTok. We put it in other places with that earlier today. Before we got on. So we're looking to definitely partner with agents in pretty much all markets, I guess you would say. Especially the markets of any decent size. Just reach out to Kelly or myself, and we love to work with you. So please
do that. You can text me. You can text me as well. Just text agent to the number 205-245-8774. Text agent to 205-245-8774. And you must be licensed, like you must have an active license and access to your local MLS. But we want to work with you. So we're going to be pushing a lot of listings to some very lucky agents in different areas. So we're excited about that.
All right, boom. All right, guys. So make sure if you didn't get your question answered, post them in the comment section of any video, and I answer those on a daily basis. We really appreciate Kelly joining us today. Should be on the Flipper North. I think it's 236 on tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. Oh, we ain't got none of them cards. Oh, they missing. At 8:05-ish p.m. Eastern. Check local listings. And nothing else, guys. We'll see you on the FLIPSIDE.
Text me and I'll text you back. Text me and I'll text you back. Text me and I'll text you back. You text me then I'll text you back. Text me then I'll text you back. TikTok, you don't stop. I will help you make your paper stack. Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Where you at now? 205-964-52439. Yep. 205-964.